Hello, it's Amy with Paper Moon Journals, and I have this really cool folio that I created as part of my design team member, being a design team member for Sweet Pea Curiosities Etsy shop. I love all the ephemera in her Christmas folio. It was a vintage Christmas folio kit that she had, and I printed out all the stuff and started assembling her folio project, but in the meantime started coming up with a one-page wonder using a 12x12, a single sheet of 12x12 to make a folio. I got excited about that idea and instead ended up using up all the ephemera in this project here. I added a couple small envelopes to keep the tiny little pieces of ephemera that I hadn't used someplace else. And if you like this project, you're excited about it, right after we go through it and we look at all the stuff in here, we'll go through making one just like it. Isn't this little one so sweet? Putting the letter in the mailbox. A shrunk down sheet music cover. I added bows to some things just because bows look nice. And then here's a slightly bigger envelope for a few more pieces of ephemera that I hadn't already used. I just grabbed these two envelopes to use up everything else that was left laying on my desk is what I did to fill it up. I like making these out of just a single sheet of solid colored manila, and then you could make it on Christmas paper or black paper and give it a Halloween theme. You can do whatever you want with this idea once you figure it out, and it might be an idea somebody else has come up with already. It's 4.5 inches wide and 7 inches tall. I think this project would make a great gift. It would make a nice little happy mail piece, or I of course like to put it inside of a journal project. You can either Velcro it into the project or just tuck it in between signatures where usually there's enough room, or just inside the front cover. I think it's really cute, and I hope you do too. I hope you'll stick with me while we sit down and make one. So you can see I have the 12x12 and I scored it at 4.5 inches and again at 9 inches, and then I rotated it and then score it at 7 inches. So it'll be 4.5 by 7 inches tall. The next thing that we want to do after working in the fold lines is to cut out the score lines on what will be our pockets. So that shorter section will want to cut out the score line between each one of those sections. You can just cut it out with it folded. I find I get wonky cuts that way, so I thought I would do it this way. See if I could cut a little bit straighter. But you want a nice little section notched out of there so that it's not bulky in the folds when we fold it up. It's really easy. I just came up with it because I wanted another folio instead of copying other designs I already had. Somebody else has probably come up with the same idea. If you wanted it to fit inside a journal like I did, I could see how someone would come up with similar measurements, but I don't have the time to watch other people's videos. I spend too much time making stuff to watch videos, really. I watch some at night before I go to bed, but that's not many. There's a lot of people I'd like to watch and just not enough time. So I fold this back section to be a double pocket, and then I think, oh no, maybe I made a mistake. But we want the glue to go in two stripes on this piece, and then I realized, okay, no, that's exactly what I want. Got confused for a second, but yes, we do. So then the back of this pocket is glued down into a side pocket. Let me show you with my bone folders. We have a side loading pocket there, and then if we glue down this other piece into a narrow pocket, it'll fit a bookmark shaped tag. Just burnish that down, work the glue evenly. I see a little piece sticking off, I'll just trim that. Now, it would have been nice if I had inked this up before I glued it down, so then it makes all of the pockets easier to see. But I get so excited when I start filming. I have my ink sitting right there in front of me so that I could ink this up and then forgot. Later, I just tuck a piece of paper into the pocket and then ink up the edges that way. So that's a tip if you forget to ink it up until after you've glued it down as well. And I use my corner chomper so I can chomp through all the layers of this. I like rounded corners. I think the rounded corners look nice. And we'll glue this pocket down. Put glue on two sides and fold it over. If you had a damp paper towel to wipe off the excess glue, that would be great. You could also unintentionally use the sleeve of your beautiful lavender sweater since you're crafting with really long sleeves. It seemed like a bad idea, but at the time I thought, oh, you have on this pretty sweater, now's a good time to film a video instead of wearing, you know, something grungy. So that was the base construction, and we missed just a little bit where I started layering up the cover. I used some sheet music glued to, made to 4 1/4 by 6 3/4 inches. I printed it on card so it would help reinforce my folio and make it more sturdy, and then add some layers to this. I also used some paper doily, and then remembered to use my ink after all to ink this up. And then it's pretty much ready to start filling. I liked adding that one piece of ephemera to the back pocket, so let's see if we can find that. I do recall I went on a little hunt, thought it wasn't there, and then went to go reprint it and saw the other things in the stack that were on that page, knew it had to be there, and then found it. So that's fun. I don't know if you ever do that. Print out all your ephemera and then can't find the piece. There's so much. So what I'm using here is a digital kit by Sweet Pea Curiosities as part of her design team. I can't remember if I said that at the beginning or not. It's her folio kit, and I had printed out all the ephemera pages for it, and decided I just wanted to make my own folio instead of making the one she had planned, which was cute, but I like having a more neutral folio that I can make Christmas with this ephemera. But then I was making another project, and I wanted, you know, a design that I could use for either project. The other project is a pink toile de joie. I think I don't know, it's French. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a pink toile junk journal kit, and I was making something with that, and I made one of these to go in there, and it looks totally different even though it's the same design of folio. So this, and if I made it on black paper or craft paper, it would have a different look and feel. So I've also got these pre-made tags. I don't know if you saw my scrap busting where I take a lot of my strip pieces of solid colored card and glue them into nice sturdy tags, and then added eyelets. I just keep them on that ring that you saw there, and then anything from 1.5 inches to 2.5 inches fits my tag top punch, and that usually fits narrow pockets when I have narrow pockets. And the easiest way to decorate these is to just glue a tag onto it. You can trim it out with some lace and some other things, but I just kind of marked where it was. It's going to be wider than the tag, so I didn't want to put glue on the ephemera this time, although I suppose I could have, and then just stayed away from the edges. And then I just shifted up and down a little to make sure that I get glue all the way to the top and bottom edge, and then trim off the paper, the little bit that hangs off. Okay, now that we filled up the back pocket, we can make some pockets on the inside. I like to use that picture that you can see in the sample on the left to make a belly band by just gluing it left and right. In just a second here, I'm scooching it into frame. And then the Santa piece we'll make into a U-shaped pocket. I know I had that out and ready. Oh, there it is. It's right under my project. You round the corners on that. I did that on the original and it looks pretty nice. I also added some polyester lace scraps to the ephemera when it's all done on top of the Santa pocket and the belly band. I'm not sure if you can see that in the project on the left. And then, yep, round some more corners on the things that don't already have a squared off border on them. I like to round the corners on it. Pick some nice short narrow ephemera for the front pockets and belly band, and then the tall skinny stuff fits perfectly in the back pocket since I designed this project to fit the ephemera that came with the other kit. And one of the reasons I wanted to do that was that it's obvious that you can make the Christmas folio that comes with the kit to use the kit, but I just wanted to show another way that it could be made. You can use an existing folio to use the kit, or actually this folio could be used to make any other kit. I know one of the reasons I wanted to do this was I was working on the pink 12 kit and I wanted a folio to use in that project. And so by creating a base that I could use in both projects, I can fill this one full of Christmas ephemera, and then the other one is decorated so pretty with the pink 12 papers, and it came with some really fun pockets in there, so I used some of the pockets that came with the pink 12 kit in that folio. I hope you'll check it out. I'll have a flip through coming up for that. I don't do another tutorial on how to make and decorate it. It's the same thing pretty much. You could probably tell by looking at it. But I think the cover needs some more decoration now that we're mostly done with the inside. And so I'd like to add some ribbon across the bottom. I think looks nice. Kind of reminds me of snow. And then add some crocheted lace across the top. I'm going to trim the excess off there. It was a little bit longer than I needed. And same with this pink scrap, but I'll let the glue set on that a minute before I trim off the excess. And then I have some of this polyester lace. It's actually double lace that I've ripped into 2 strips. I have a fun tip for you. Let's tie a bow that we can put on the cover. This is sari silk ribbon. If you use a fork, you can use it to tie a bow. And so if you stick with me in a second here, I'll show you how I use a fork to help me tie the bow. I first ripped down the sari silk that I've used across the bottom. I've ripped it to be half as thick so that I can tie a smaller bow. And then we're going to use that in the upper left-hand corner of our project. I also could have used this polyester lace, which makes beautiful bows. But if you have a fork to help you, I find it's easier. Use it like a jig. So you wrap it around like a shawl and then poke underneath your little shawl, that piece that you wrapped around, and push it through the center back and then bring it up through the top center and tie it in a knot. And then you get these perfect tiny little bows. I should do another mass make short where I make bows. I know I did it a few years ago, but I'm probably due to do it again. Just want to pull it nice and tight. Make sure it's kind of flat. I want to flatten it out a little bit with my fingers so I can add it to the cover. And I don't want to wait for the glue setting on that. So let's go ahead and add bows to a couple of the things inside and everywhere else before we glue that onto the cover, because then we'll have to let it sit. Also, after we add glitter, we'll need to let it sit. So we'll probably want to add the bows, then glitter it up with some stickles or some pops glitter. I've been using the Pops of Color glitter instead. I just made a nice order from Scrapbook.com with more of that Pops glitter, since it dries so much better in the winter time than the stickles that was my previous favorite. And I still have a great supply of stickles. I like it, and I'll use it in the summer, or if I'm not in a hurry, if it's something I'm just gonna glitter up, set it aside and then come back, maybe I'll use the stickles still. The Pops is nice because it also adds dimension in addition to the glitter, so that's fun and exciting. Another thing I think that's fun and exciting is that my Advent people who got their Christmas Advent boxes have been opening their boxes. I hope they're enjoying that and having fun. I've been kind of making some extra things as I go this during this Christmas season so that next year when I start crafting for Christmas, I'll have a jump start on some advent boxes for next year. That's all counting on it going well. I like to imagine that they're hopefully really excited. Like on day 5, they got a jar of Stickles glitter, and then they've got a signature, the cover, some tags and things. Like they should really be, by day 5, they should be able to really be playing with their project and enjoying it, I hope. Not that any one day has much that has to be done. If you don't have time for it, you can just tuck it in, stick things in pockets. If you want to glitter it up, that's why I included the Stickles glitter, was so that then each thing could be glittered up. Now we can, let's put stuff in the back pocket too, and then we'll finish the front cover. When I want to make the tag feel extra special, that's when I tie it with some of the sari silk so that it really stands out compared to the ones with the lace bows that most other things will have. It says this tag is special to me. I also like using these tinier holes when I'm not using eyelets. It feels to me like they're more sturdy. And then you'll notice I'm tying knots instead of bows because I don't want to put a lot of tension or rip through that hole in the paper. That's going to be kind of fragile, unlike that nice tag with the steel eyelet in it. Now we're ready to glue that bow on the front, and then if you had a binder clip, that would be great to hold this down. Now we're ready for our Stickles glitter. I'm not in any hurry for this. It'll have plenty of time to dry. So I'm going to add it to all of the fur trim everywhere it is on her outfit or things that she's holding. And then I'll also add little dots of it all over the background to make it look like snow. So I think that looks nice. Well, there's just one more thing we need to add to finish this project. Well, 2 more things actually. These paper flowers. Once we add these 2 things, our project is done and we're all finished. I love how it came out. I hope you do too. It looks exactly like our inspiration project, just as it should. I hope if you make this project, you'll tag me so I can see what you made. I'd love to see what you made. And as always, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.